Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 12th of November 2021. We've been up north visiting our friends up there and looking at the house project. It's coming along very nicely. We have three carpenters from Java currently working on the house, and they're doing an amazing job. It'll be a very beautiful house when we're done. Just taking a little bit longer than expected, of course, because we're kind of designing it as we build it, which is really nice. We like that process because we obviously we have an idea of the end product, but we're allowing ourselves to kind of wander through the house as it's developing and make new design decisions, and it'll turn out very beautifully as a result of us doing that. So it's super exciting. While we were there, we had some pretty remarkable experiences. One of them was rather unfortunate. A neighbor, a young woman, a young mother by the name of Sophie, she passed away. She had an aneurysm, and in the Balinese, death is very natural in Bali, and so it's the end of a life cycle comes, the person dies, and they're reincarnated. Of course, people are very sad because it's very difficult leaving someone, but they deal with death in a very different way. And we had this experience it was probably one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my life, where the family of the deceased went to a high priestess, and the high priestess could she would receive the soul of the deceased and become that person, such that they could communicate with the family. Because in many cases, when people pass, they're taken very quickly, and so there are things that are not settled. And so this high priestess, a very remarkable woman, could help facilitate conversations between the remaining family and the person who died. And we were there during the ceremony, and we sat just next to the priestess when this happened, and it was, mind blowing, because the priestess was essentially receiving the souls or the energies of the people who were received, and became that person or these people during these I don't know what you can call them, these sessions, and you could see the facial expressions of the person, the body language, the tone of the voice. It all changed every time a new soul entered the woman. And when the lady who we knew entered the priestess, she became this woman momentarily, not in body but in spirit. And the woman, the priestess, who didn't know us, we'd never met her before, she turned to me and my wife, and she bowed, and she held her, as the Balinese do, they hold their hands up to their foreheads and they bow. And she said to us, thank you so much for being nice to me and speaking with me when I worked with your friends. And it was amazing, because we met this woman, the woman who died, several times as she worked for our friends up in the north. And she said thank you. And she said, I'm so sorry I couldn't speak with you because I don't speak English. And it was amazing because nobody in the room knew that. But the woman turned to us, and of course we remembered our interactions with this woman. It was so unbelievably profound. And the most beautiful thing was that the deceased was able to communicate with her child and her husband. And there were so many tears, and it was so beautiful because there was a lot of closure was able to take place as a result of this interaction. It was so beautiful. It was so very, very beautiful, and it really confirmed that there is most certainly so much more between heaven and earth. And it just became very, very apparent that day. Of course, we already knew this, but it was just another experience that really drove home the conviction that we experience here. Anyway, very, very fascinating. Anyway, so we haven't been at home, and I haven't had my computer. I've been away from my computer and my the charts, and so now I thought that we would run through a couple of trade examples. We've had a really good week so far. Rather, so far the week is over. And the process has been very, very simple. So what I've been doing, I'm just going to iterate the process, because I'm a fool for simplicity. I absolutely love simplicity. When things get complicated, then I don't pay attention to them. And so what I've been focusing on is the histogram, and I've actually been using the histogram on the website. So this one, and I've been clicking on the time frame so that I can see the daily. Let me just refresh this. This is a 655. Just going to refresh that and get the new readings. 55. Okay, so now we're 711, so I go like that. And then I get all of these symbols here. So what I've been doing is I've been just going through the daily ones one by one. So my chart configuration has evolved into two time frames, the daily and the hourly. So what I'm doing then is I'm looking for this, and I'm just going through these one by one. I go the Swiss franc, Japanese yen, then I go to the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. So let's just find that very quickly. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Here it is, and I'll drag it onto this one. And we are being told to sell. Okay, so we're being told to sell. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking for selling opportunities. Okay, we're very high. You can see the histogram is screaming sell. It screamed sell here. You know, when it started to form this top and turn around, it was screaming the sell here. We're forming this top and it's starting to turn around, it's screaming the sell here. And so essentially what I'm doing is I'm looking for sells on the smaller time frame. Okay, and if we see, I mean, this trade is already gone. I think we spoke about the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. It rings a bell, at least maybe during one of the videos late last week or early this week. And we've been simply looking for these patterns. And so what we want to do is we want to see price shake out market participants at the extreme. When I say shake out, I mean we're looking for price to establish these areas of value. And then we're looking for big pushes higher, big pushes lower to shake people out of their positions. Okay, and you can see that pretty clearly here on this time frame where you have price rallying like so. Then you see price go sideways and then pop north and then come south. And so this is essentially shaking people out of their positions, be them long or short. Okay, and you can see this happening here where we have, price rallies. So we have a period of equilibrium. Price rallies, we come down, we go deeper, higher, we go lower, higher, and then we start to break down. Okay, like so. Okay, and so we have respect, breach. So this is the area around here somewhere. And the reason I choose this is because this is the area that removed a historically respected area. Okay, price went down, but we did not manage to trade and hold below that. But we did once price was able to move back in to the sell zone, which is around here. Okay, price came back, and then we moved and we held kind of below this area in here. You can also see there's a wick right there. Okay, so now we're looking to sell, and we're doing so knowing that we're very, very high. When I say very high, going to the daily chart, we have price inefficiencies. We have this one here, which is yet to fill, and we have this huge one here. What does that mean? That means that price will have to rebalance, return to the origin before it figures out what it's going to do, either going higher or lower. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know that price will have to move back into this price structure here. Okay, and up here we have very, very little buying. So if we just look at it like this, we have volume, and here we have the price. Okay, currently price is up here. Is there liquidity buy here? Probably not. So there's very little or no liquidity here to buy. And the closer we get to, oops, that was an ugly one. But the closer we get to the origin, it thickens up like that. Okay, so we're likely going to see bigger reactions down here or here than we are up here. So it's not a good idea to start to buy now. Okay, what we could do is we could consider the fact that we are looking to sell because price is inefficient. Okay, we're also having this divergence thing going on. You can't see it on this time frame, but on the small time frame where we have high, low, high, low. So we have this going on this on a smaller time frame, which we'll look in just a second. It's probably doing the opposite. So if we have a look, maybe on the 4 hour, we can see with a bit more clarity. So we're probably going to see something like that here, where you go something like that, and then here it looks something like that. Let's see. Let the histogram load. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Here you can see it nicely here. Okay, so we have the hump, and we have this. Boom. So what's that telling us? That's telling us we're probably going to wriggle lower to fill this. We got this here. We have this here a little bit, and then below we have we have some we have stuff below that we could consider. Okay, and so we're essentially looking for price to wriggle. Okay, so this is essentially what we've been looking to do throughout the week, and we've had a couple really nice trades. Okay, so what you want to do in a situation like that is you want to look for historically respected areas. So let's go back to the hourly once more. You can see here that we have respect here. Let me redo that. Okay, that's fine. So we have this tests. Okay, price almost went through and then it left. So this is telling us that we have selling here. So let me just ensure that we have rectangles management. Enable this. Boom, just like that. Okay, so we're looking to sell from around here because this is where price traded through this area. So there's probably a micro area of demand just in here. Okay, which is tested several times. Okay, so this is where you want to sell. So this becomes our reference point for the future. Okay, so if we just have a look at some of these, we'll just do a couple of, let's show you a couple of them. Let's go from the top. So this one was a buy, super small one here. I mean, look at that. It's just like, it goes pretty quick. So we have a relatively small risk. Here we have kind of first bump in the road, and I closed the portion off here at the first bump in the road because we see the resistance. It went down, then it went up for the second time, and then price just blasted through it. Okay, and you can expect this to happen because we are very, very low. So looking at the curve, I mean, we're very low. You can see the histogram doing that, and so I mean, we can expect with a great deal of confidence the price to rebalance this. Okay, and we even, if you go to the lows, we're around here. So there's huge risk reward potential on trades like that because of the stuff that, sorry, mosquitoes, that we talked about there. So we had a really nice one there. We had another one here. And you can see here I use the algo to get into the trade, just here. Okay, so we have this one here. Let's go to the hourly here to see that one. We have the same thing here, where we're very low. You can see here, reacting on demand, just below. And so we got in here and we got out here just to the opposing, rather the first bump in the road. Okay, and I'm thinking price is going to wriggle up to here because we had support, price came down, so price is going to come up to at least these highs here, I think, before it begins to do whatever else it's going to do. So that was a really nice one. And we had a couple of others. This is a really nice lesson. Had a couple of losses here in the Aussie. This is a beautiful lesson. Let's let the histogram load. Okay, so price was up here, just here. So it was pretty high, almost reached like a one deviation of the histogram, and then it came to move around. Okay, and so we got into that trade, had a small loss there. I mean, price went there, it went up, so it went pretty healthy into profit, and then it turned around. And we did this a couple of times. We had another one on like two trades, a tiny one and a slightly bigger one, and we lost on those. And then we had this one here, and this is good. This is a good lesson. This is beautiful because when you do something wrong, when you do something that is, for example, against the rules or something contrary to what the software is telling us, then you want to lose. You don't want reward for doing something wrong. So this is nice. This is very nice. Okay, so we have this one here. This was the British pound American dollar. And this was doing something similar. This looks like it was probably a 4-hour signal. Okay, so we were being told to buy there. So we got in there at the low. And we got out. Where did we get out of this one? Yeah, we got out of this little piece, about a 1-to-1 on this little piece of area of supply here. not a very beautiful area of supply. But if we consider where price actually went, and we had this one here, we had a nice departure. Price came back to it. Okay, so we're expecting, and price kind of sat on the area for a while, and then it finally popped through, and it went close to the area where this would have been rebalanced. Okay, so the nice little snip out of that one. If we have a look, we've got another one here. Let's see what that is. Another one, kind of a similar thing. We reacted to this little price nodule just here. So we got in here, and we got out of the trade just at where we could see kind of like the lows here. We just want to be out of these before we start to get to these areas. And price went up to there, turned around, went up a little bit deeper. Price some divergence here we do divergence. Then price started to turn around. So just getting out of the first test. Okay, so pretty nice trades there. And essentially, I've been using the histogram for that on the website, because I haven't had my computer. And matter of fact, these trades were opened on, actually I think a couple of them were opened by the buy and sell zones, and the other ones were just opened manually. And so I just been on here on my telephone trading it. We have the pound, Canadian dollar. This is the daily buy. Let's have a look and see where that is. The pound, Canadian dollar. This is a buy, so we want to see where we are. Yeah, we're pretty low. Yeah, we already piled into that one. As we can see, we got out. That was one of our trades, and that was based on the information that we saw according to the histogram. And notice that this could continue to move north, because we have this that has to be dealt with. Okay, we have this which has been tested. Price came right back to this little area that's responsible for moving below here. So this is an important area, which is why I got out. But there's no reason that this should not continue to move higher. We have this as well on the smaller time frames. We have something like this. We have on the histogram going like that. So this is very likely going to move through here. I'm going to keep going north. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. It's pretty simple. It's really simple. And I've really been paying a lot of attention to crypto these past days, and there are a lot of things that are out of balance. Okay, so what we have, this is not crypto, is it? This is silver. Let's look at silver. So silver is really moving higher. Okay, and you could see here that we were looking very low. So we were actually receiving some alerts on silver last week and the week before, where maybe before that actually, because these are in some of the videos from like several videos ago. Okay, but you can see that we started to see the exact same thing occurring. We're starting to get into this buy area, this buy zone territory. And what happened? Well, price started to move north from here, and now we're starting to scream north. And we have this here. This has to be dealt with. But we're still very low. Okay, so we can expect price to continue to wriggle to sell zones until we start to form a really nice, until we start to enter the sell zone on the histogram. Okay, so moving to one more example here. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. As I mentioned, I've been looking a lot at crypto. Where is the crypto? Where is the crypto here? Look at Bitcoin just here. See, Bitcoin is looking pretty long, isn't it? And so notice here that we have this. We have this here. We have a little price nodule. Price has come back here. And so just looking at where we are, yeah, we're pretty high. So, I'm thinking that we're going to have a retracement. Okay, so the retracement, well, then we can say, okay, where should we start to look? Well, here you can see that we have this, we have this. If you kind of line these up, these peaks here with this one, there's a pretty clear indication that we're going to move a little bit lower. And we still have this. Price actually went down here, so we had, before this spike lower, we had this. So we had this right here. Okay, which needs to be balanced. The price came to the highs here where we had supply, test, test. Price came down to that, almost to the dollar, which is quite nice. And now we're starting to drift. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a lot of rejection. Be nice if price managed to come back to the origin here, or even back to this base here, which is beautiful because we had a lot of wick, very strong pushes lower and then rejection, and then another one. Okay, and so price is slowly beginning to do this, but a really nice rebalancing and a reloading before price continue to move higher. And then we have Ethereum here. Oops, let me put this on the daily, kind of doing a similar thing. Yeah, this is slightly more efficient trading here. But if we look here, it's the same thing happening, huh? Where we have, this is a beautiful pattern just here. I like this a lot. Zooming out. I like this a lot here, but I like these other ones more. This is interesting, but I like the face. See how price came down to here and here, so this is more interesting. This is more interesting. Okay, because when price left here, we moved through here. So that would be interesting. And this is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but we do have the buy zone from here. So we're going to see some reactions from around there. Okay, so but for the time being, I mean, we have Ethereum really high. And it's really high. And what happened last time? Every other time it's been high, down, down, down. So maybe it's a good time to move your Ethereum into euro or American dollar and wait for price to retrace. Okay, because every time price does this, we turn around and we begin to move higher. We see here as well, we were low, we were negative. What happened? We went up. Here we were positive, we went down. Here we were positive, we went down. Okay, here we're positive. What are we going to do? Probably going to go down. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to leave it at that for now. I wish you all a pleasant weekend, and yeah, we'll get you next week. Thanks for watching.